We are people advocating cannabis education here at paceradio.net.
The opinions of the individuals during this broadcast are their own and may not be the opinions of their group or other organizations they may be involved with.
I want to talk about news, don't want the drama. From no pretentious media Madonna. I found me a great ganja mama. Cannabis and coffee with Tamarijuana.
Good morning, everybody, and welcome to Cannabis and Coffee. It's a beautiful day in the East Coast, sunshine and blue sky, and not a cloud in it. It's still chilly, though, but that's the way it goes. You know, spring's Saturday, so we'll probably get snow. But hey, it's a beautiful day today. This morning, I have a long-time activist with me, advocate. Chris Backer has been involved in the cannabis community for 20 years, probably more. He's also now running the Nova Scotia Substitution Program, which has now been running, I believe, for 2 years. Good morning, Chris. How you doing?
Good morning. How you doing?
You know, it's beautiful out, so not bad.
It's sunny here, a little frigid, but you know, we roll with the punches.
Absolutely. So you guys were out on Monday again, because you guys go out on Monday mornings to Halifax to the substitution program. It was chilly this week, I seen, but you guys go out every Monday and help people. Why don't you explain to everybody what's going on out there?
Absolutely. We have a bit of as they do out in the West Coast and pretty much all across the country, there's a bit of a opiate addiction issue or its own epidemic going on, along with the pandemic we're all going through. And doesn't seem like there's a whole lot being done about it. It's one of those dirty little secrets that everybody wants to ignore. So I was following Neil Magnuson on the West Coast, and he's running the Cannabis Substitution program out there. And I was really liking what I was seeing him doing. So I called him up one day and said, "Hey, Neil, I love what you're doing. I'd like to do it down here. Do you mind?" And he said, "Go right ahead." I asked him a couple of questions, got some tips, and we were up and running. It's just a matter of reaching out to the cannabis community, which has been extremely generous and in helping me accomplish this goal. And through the donation of cash, products, and ingredients, for just over, about 15, 16 months now, we've been out every Monday, pass out 200 plus care packages of cannabis-infused edibles and a joint. Because of the pandemic, we used to pass out joints, but now it's a baggie with a little bit of weed in the paper. It's a roll it's your own damn self kit. And we've been doing that for every Monday. And you know, this Monday was minus 22, so they're not all good days. We've had some snowstorms where there was last month it was pretty bad, and the buses stopped running, but I was still out there. And I can't help it because I know that when I show up, I mean, there's 50, 60 people in the lineup already. So if I don't show up, those people are going to be standing there in the cold for God knows how long before they decide to give up and go away. And yeah. I just can't do that. So I drag my ass down there and make her happen.
And you're sick too. Like you're a patient too, so that's really commendable. And yeah, you've got Susan that helps as well, right? And you guys cook and do everything, don't you?
What's that?
You guys do all the cooking and everything too, don't you?
Not just myself. No, I mean I've got some people that cook for us. I've got Mark and Paulette that are making me ginger spice cookies. I got people like Melissa that are rocking me with truffles and gummies, and I've had people like Margaret and some people don't like their name. I got a lady Kermit that makes chocolate chip cookies for me. And
that's awesome.
So people like this, like I said, I mean, I'd just be some crazy guy wishing he was passing stuff out on the side of the road.
Right. Well, that's the thing. You really need to have the backing of the community. And Nova Scotia has got one of probably the best cannabis communities out there, to be honest. Like, I want to move to Nova Scotia because comparably to what I have around me, it's just so different. And like with the fact that you've got volunteers that help donate, that's amazing because it's real. That's the main key of actually having a substitution program running is having the donations because unless you have unlimited funds to be able to do this yourself, it's impossible. But there's no way one person could do this.
No, I mean, again, it's 200 care packages with 7 things in it, including like I said, there's the joint kit. There's 5-10 milligram capsules. There's a tincture capsule, a big 00 tincture capsule, which is good for 2 or 3 or 4 doses, depending on how you do it. And chocolates and truffles, and then there's squares. I mean, there's tons of stuff. I put out scones or a sandwich as well. So I know that on the street the kits are selling for about $20 a piece for people that want to do it like that. But there's about 130, 140 milligrams worth of product in each kit right now. I mean, I know at West they're rocking 420 milligrams for everybody when they come. I couldn't do that. We started off doing 40 kits. We've adjusted the size of the kit so we can kind of maintain being able to do 200 kits every week in, week out. And,
That's a lot of people you're covering. 200 people. That's a fair amount of people coming. Like when you expect that, Halifax is a large city too, so it's a small percentage really, but it's still when you're doing it like with donations, that's a large number.
it is. I mean, it's about 150 or more man hours a week just putting these kits together is what's involved in kind of doing this kind of thing. And it's one of those things I'd like to have a place, but as soon as you've got a place, you have other things that you have to deal with, like overhead and stuff. And this is all, again, based on donations and support from the community. So there's no funds for that. Everything that I have goes into being able to, round out the ingredients to make the things that we need. So, but
Right. And fuel to get there because you don't live right in Halifax either, do you?
no, I'm in Sackville. I'm not that far away, but I mean, I went to where the problem is. I mean, so that's kind of the biggest concentration of people that are going through these problems are in that area of Halifax and Gottingen Street. It's that's where the drug treatment facilities are. That's where the Salvation Army is. That's where Hope Cottages and places people, for the food banks and stuff. That's the area, and that's where the issues are. So that's where we had to go.
Yeah, absolutely. And that's, the unfortunate thing that it's like the downtown east side too, where Neil's at. Like those is concentrated areas where these people unfortunately have it's home to them because of the stigmatization in these areas are stigmatized because of that area, but the people feel comfortable there because that's their area. You know what I'm saying? Like
It's also their area because that's where they wind up putting the programs and the facilities to help these people, right? So
yeah.
You start off in a low-income area. They notice that people have a problem, then they put in the programs there, and then that's where all the people kind of congregate towards. Now, I've had problems with some of the other people in the community. There's a daycare not far from where we set up, and they came over threatening a few times, telling us that we should move. And for some reason, they believe that people were coming from all over the province to where I was passing out these kits, and they don't want to realize. And I almost wanted to break into the old Sesame Street song that these are the people in your neighborhood.
Right. Exactly. That's the thing. Like why you're not going to push them away. They're there.
They're there, whether you want to believe it or not. I mean, I know you've been stepping over them for 20 years, but sorry, this is reality. I mean, and if
you didn't like the neighborhood, why you put a daycare there? Like that's another question. But of course, these low-income people also need daycares, so you can't be discriminatory.
But the thing is, I mean, so the kids see me doing what I do. If you want to be the guardian that goes, they're passing out drugs, that's up to you. You could say they're passing out food to people that are hungry.
Yeah,
you could
out medicine to help other people with their with problems.
Exactly.
It's a therapeutic medical. It's
production works.
Yeah, it does.
It
And that's
works.
the thing. We had that issue here with the homeless shelter and the location of where it was in the whole city, having to change the bylaw for zoning and stuff. And they were all up in arms because it's across from the high school and next to um the memorial arena and the kids in the hockey and all this stuff. But that's where the safe harm reduction site is. That's where Anchors is. Then we've got Street Angels, which is just right straight down the block, which is the homeless drop-in center, and that's where the alternative school is too for the kids, beside the high school. So instead of teaching your kids that this is wrong, maybe you should teach your kids that this is what happens if, and try and be kind about it, and try and be compassionate about it, and try and teach and show them that there are people with issues that need help, and teach them compassion rather than teaching them disdain. And I think that's a difference with parenting. You can either teach your child to be compassionate and loving and kind by helping people, or you can teach them to be disdainful by looking at them and pointing fingers and not being compassionate about it. And let's face it, there are there are two different kinds of people out there like that. There are the people that look at harm reduction as a good thing, and they look at the fact that addiction is a health issue. And then we've got the other side that believe that it was your choice. You shouldn't have done that. You should have never done that. You smoked a joint when you were 11 and now you're a crackhead. You know what I mean? And that's where we're at.
But that's where the education comes in, the understanding that a lot of us are one paycheck, one prescription away from, or one accident and then one prescription for pain meds away from being on the streets ourselves. These people these aren't choices. The choice was the doctor gave me a prescription, and the next thing I knew I was addicted. Things went sideways, and now my wife's gone and I'm on the streets.
Absolutely.
It's not
Absolutely.
always so cut and dried of, well, they decided to do meth. That was his fucking choice. Well, how did he get there? Okay. I mean,
Trauma from childhood, trauma from addiction, or from an abusive relationship. There's so many things that lead to trauma, that lead to addiction. Never mind mental health issues, which is a whole other ball game altogether.
The biggest causes for addiction are pain and insomnia. And insomnia, that's caused, again, there's depression that gives it insomnia. There's anxiety that's insomnia. The things that keep you up, and pain. Those are the two things that make people wind up addicted to stuff, because they're trying to get through that.
Yeah, absolutely. Trying to get sleep. Sleep is one of the worst things. Stress and sleep, because if you're stressed out, you can't sleep, and stress will kill you. Like all by itself. You know what I mean? Like you don't even need anything else, just stress alone.
So for a de-stressor and for sleep, I mean, there's two of the biggest things for pot. Okay?
Absolutely.
I mean, that's what it's all about. That's what it helps with, and that's kind of beyond pain and everything else. I mean, those two things right there are huge.
Yes, yeah, exactly. Like, and that's the thing too. Like a lot of people back before, doctors were really, the program was really running, a lot of people would run into a dispensary and use, I can't sleep. That would get you a prescription. That would be enough to get you a prescription for a dispensary, so that you could get access to medical cannabis, because it was, that's one of the that and eating, because I know, a lot of people with eating disorders will look towards cannabis to help them eat.
Yeah, AIDS really kind of brought that on with the wasting disease, the wasting that comes with AIDS. That really kind of brought that to light about the appetite and the munchies, and really driving it to getting your calories back into you. So
absolutely. And that was a huge pandemic then too. And it continues on. Thankfully, there's cocktails and stuff now, pharmaceuticals that can help people be cured from HIV. That's one thing that we have come full circle on hepatitis C, which is another thing that people don't realize. But during those treatments, you're nauseated. You're taking a heavy duty pharmaceutical cocktail. So cannabis along with that will help with nausea too. Because we were talking a little bit before the show about, how sometimes, it doesn't work for everybody, and how it masks, doesn't mask the pain. It kind of diverts the pain, and how we've both, dealt with it, because you've got Crohn's disease and I've got colitis and rheumatoid arthritis, and how it has helped or affected our well-being, right?
Oh, absolutely. I couldn't imagine life without it. I mean, it's changed my life. The doctors took me off everything for pain for my Crohn's, because anything you take for pain really rots your guts out anyway. So you're kind of, even though you feel better, you're making the problem worse. And even though cannabis doesn't, I've seen a lot of people online talking about cannabis has cured their Crohn's, and I've eaten a lot of weed, so I'm kind of surprised it hasn't done it for me. But whatever. it has helped me cope with it. I mean, the fact that I don't get anything else for pain. I mean, cannabis has helped me deal with the cramping, the discomfort, the pain, the nausea, the depression that comes from Crohn's.
Yeah. And that's the thing, like with chronic illness, it's not just the chronic illness you battle. You battle pain, you battle depression, you battle anxiety. It's kind of a full meal deal. Like in reality, when you say, "Oh, I've got this," but along with that goes along with this, and this, right? So trying to cope with all of it, cannabis seems to be a real good thing. Like even for myself, like it, doesn't help my rheumatoid arthritis at all. And I'm not proud to say that. Trust me, I tried everything prior to, but it helps my craziness. It helps with my eating. It helps me maintain some sort of focus. I can't really pinpoint all the things it does help. I can tell you what it doesn't help, but I can't pinpoint all the things it does because it does help so many other things for me.
Yeah, for me, one of the biggest things is just with everything that I try and do, and with the Crohn's sometimes being as bad as it is, I find that one of the biggest things that helps me with is it gives me enough of a good mood and enough of a good mental state of mind that I don't always just feel like packing it in. I mean, just there's a lot of days when you suffer a lot and you just sit there and you go, I can't take this anymore. I just want it to end. I need something to fucking change, because this is shit day in, day out, day in, day out. It's, again, if it wasn't for pot, yeah, I don't know if I'd even still be here. I probably would have given up a long time ago. And
yeah, I understand that.
Good state of mind, and I'm a pretty jovial guy and like to have fun. And I give all that credit to cannabis, because I don't know where I'd be anymore. I've been through my share.
I know I see a lot of people struggling with mental health right now, with depression, anxiety. I mean, let's face it, this year that we've been through with COVID has not been easy for a lot of people. And then the pandemic with the opioid crisis on top of it all. Like, we've got so many things for a lot of people on their plates. I think the ganja gods every day, because I'm right there with you. There are days that I just get up and don't want to be here anymore either. Just can't really kick off because I got too much on my plate. Who's going to take care of this petting zoo and my son and all these things. But there are days. So I understand the struggle, and I know that there are a lot of people out there struggling. So you're not alone. Just so you all know, you're not alone out there. So you got a lot of help, or not too much help, but Susan helps you a lot too. I want to shout out to Susan because I see her standing in her cold coats and out there handing out packages too. So yeah, that's great. You've got a good partner there to help you do all these things too.
Yeah, I mean, I'd be lost without her. I mean, she really makes it happen. She's been my source of support. She's been helping me with the kits and putting everything together. And it's again, like you said, it's too much work for one person. It's too much work for 10 people. So, yeah, without her, I'd kind of be totally lost. Yeah, don't even know how else to put it.
Well, I'm glad that you got her because, like I said, that's the whole thing with the programs like these is volunteers and donations. And donations are your main thing. Like, you really need to have that steady stream of donations coming in and have the same people that are willing to help all the time, whether it's financially with donations of cookies or whatever. It's really important.
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. I mean, there's too many things to make. And even for the volunteers and the people that are doing it, I mean, if they're making me 200 cookies a week, that's 200 cookies week in, week out, week in, week out. And the responsibility on them. So, I mean, it's got to be enjoyable. It's got to be something that people are willing to do and put the time in, because it's not just the cost of the products and what goes into it, but it's the personal time, the love, the compassion, and the generosity that goes into everything that we're doing here. We're giving a piece of ourselves, right?
Absolutely. Now, these people that come and get the kits, you don't ask them what, who, where, when, and why. You don't care. You don't have to have any specific paperwork. Like, it's not like, you have to show income. Like, it's just, if you need help, you just show up.
Yeah. The only thing that I ask for is ID. I mean, with the rules the way they are, I need to know that people are of age, but beyond that, I don't ask for track marks on your arm or proof of anything beyond, like I said, just proof of age. And, that causes a couple of problems. Like when we first started out, we were in the drug treatment facility. So they were kind of vetting all of our clients for us. If they were there to see us, that means they were in drug treatment and we were helping them. But once we wound up being out on the street doing our program, there's people throughout the community that come. Some of them have addiction issues. Some have addiction issues and don't even know it. They come because they want the program. And some people come because they want to get high, and some people come because it's food. So it's kind of like the food bank. When you show up at the food bank, you can pull up in a Cadillac and they still help you. They don't ask questions. They don't judge, because nobody knows what people are going through. So if they want to stand in a lineup at 8:30 in the morning, minus 22 weather, in the rain or the snow, they obviously need it. So
absolutely.
that's
great.
what it gets for me. So
yeah, and that's terrific, because I mean, again, we have to deal with stigma, right? And the fact that a lot of people won't come forward to say that they need help at all because of stigma, and the fact that they're there means that they want help, and that's amazing, because that's the first step for anything, is admitting that the help is needed.
Oh, absolutely. And what we did back in November, we did a bit of a survey where we asked people why they were coming. Just an anonymous survey. Just check the box. Are you here because of pain? Are you here for addiction? Are you here for other? Are you here for what? And then I was trying to find out where they were from, to find out how many people were coming from outside of the community, to kind of allay the fears of the people in the community. And the biggest thing that people were there for is pain. Okay? Most of the people, 75% of the people are there for pain. The addiction part of it, you got addiction, pain, and a pain together as a category too, because a lot of people are in pain, and that's why they're addicted. So the two kind of go hand in hand, like we were saying, pain and insomnia. Okay, so it's a big one. Pain and addiction are so intermingled. It's hard to separate them.
Absolutely. Because doctors will prescribe low dose opioids, or they'll prescribe, sometimes depending on your affliction, stuff like hydromorphine. And then all of a sudden it's like, sorry, you've had enough now. You don't need any more. Well, how the fuck do you know if I need it anymore? Are you living in my body? And sometimes it's actually not addiction, that you actually, need it for your pain. And it's just something that, kind of goes along with living with chronic pain. But these doctors all of a sudden decide that you're no longer in chronic pain, and we're just going to take your medicine away from you. Who the fuck does that?
Well, it's like deciding that 1 or 2 grams is enough for a person.
Yeah, right.
Plus, I need
we'll talk about that after the break.
Yeah, I mean, it's other people's perceptions of what should or shouldn't hurt, or what people should or shouldn't be able to deal with. And I mean, unless you're walking in somebody else's shoes, that's not an assumption that you can make. I mean, some people are stronger than others, and some people crumble at the smallest thing. So to try and paint everybody with the same brush is just ridiculous.
I agree. And that's the whole thing with, the cannabis. I really don't appreciate the fact that they compare extractions to some high level of narcotic, when in reality, we know it's not. We know that the extraction is the pure part of the cannabis medicine. Just because it's not ground up in a joint doesn't mean that it's any different. It's better. It's more of the medicine. But I don't like the brush being painted that extractions are so much more addictive when they're not, or that they're this and that, or the diamonds and the shatter and all these things that they're trying to make look like they're some sort of dark side of cannabis, when in reality it's the best part of cannabis.
No, absolutely. It's the fact that it's stronger as being a bad thing is ridiculous. I mean, it's just stronger means I get to take less and it lasts me longer. Okay, if people look beyond that, I don't even understand. I mean, You've got beer and you've got hard liquor, and I know I always hate comparing pot to liquor, but you've got the two. I mean, people don't drink a pint of hard. Well, most people don't drink a pint of hard liquor like they drink a pint of beer, right? You sit there, you have 6 or 8 beer. You don't have 6 or 8 vodkas, right?
Right.
You have 6 or 8 glasses of vodka, not 6 or 8 bottles. So
yeah,
we self-regulate, we adjust. We know that it's stronger, so you drink it less, or you mix it with things. I mean, it's just. it's common sense. Yes, stronger has the potential to be more dangerous, but that's not the way it's used. People just do more, or
Right.
they'll certainly get to do less because it's stronger.
Well, that's how I got to Percocet, because I was taking 6 Advil or 6 Tylenol a day and it wasn't doing anything. And I went to my doctor and said, like, this is killing my kidney. And I don't want to take Percocet either. And she's like, well, maybe we should put you on hydromorphine. I'm like, no, I'm good. But the thing, like I said, what was telling you before the show was I can only take one Percocet at a time. So that kind of saves me, I guess, from the addiction, because my body won't allow me to take two ever. Like, I'm throwing up, puking. Like, I just cannot do it. And I kind of compare the two, because Tylenol, one Percocet to me would be like 6 Tylenol. So if I'm taking 6 Tylenol, I know I'm in pain. So I can take one Percocet because of the dosing compared to 6 Tylenol, which isn't, like trying to justify the difference, but you know what I'm saying? Like, kind of the comparability. And that's how my doctor justified giving me the 5 milligrams of Percocet, is because I was taking so much more over the counter than I should be daily, and that still wasn't touching the pain that I was in. And the cannabis, unfortunately, wasn't touching the pain that I was in. And I hate to say that. Like, I'm one of the ones that have advocated for cannabis education and cannabis as medicine for 15 years now. Like, well, yeah, 13, 4, I don't even know. A long time. And for me to have to say it doesn't work for that, that's really hard for me.
Well, and I wouldn't say that it didn't work. It didn't give you the relief that you were looking for, but like I was saying, because if you've got sciatic pain, or there are a lot of pains that cannabis just doesn't touch, but what it does do, it allows you to cope with them better.
Right.
And even though it's still bad, I mean, and you like relief another way, up until that point, I mean, it was helping you deal with it, because I'm going to
deal with it.
Bad. It's if I didn't have pot, I'm pretty sure I would have ended it a long time ago. It's way easier to understand and deal with the pain when you have the distraction and have your mind be put in a better place.
Absolutely. And that's, I think, that most people don't get too, is I think they're looking for masking. It's the same with substitution, for example. Like, I think what we have to understand too is, if you're an opiate addicted, cannabis is not going to get you the high you're looking for. It's not, people. You're not going to get the same high that you get off cocaine from cannabis. It's just not the same. So if you're addicted to those substances and you're going out and you're looking for that same high to substitute what you're looking for, it's not going to work. So you have to take into consideration that you're trying to ease yourself from all the other side effects from withdrawal. The cannabis will help with that. The nausea, the skitchy, itchy, the diversion of, like, the brain, the whole I want. The cannabis will help divert that. And that's one thing, the anxiety, right, that goes along with wanting to, drug seek. And I understand that, because I've been there, like, many, many years ago, and cannabis saved my life from that too.
Yeah, because it's, like you said, I mean, it's when it's really bad. I mean, the cannabis doesn't, replace what your addiction is, but it saves you from wanting to peel off your own face or someone else's. I always like to say it makes me feel less murdery.
Oh, well, yeah, exactly, right. I feel that one too. Less murdery. That's a good way of putting it.
Yeah. I smoke pot for other people's safety.
That's awesome. That's totally awesome. I guess that's one way of putting it, though, right? Because stress is something, and let's face it, not everybody's nice out there. Other people kind of suck. Just putting that there. And a lot of times it's easy to, smoke a joint and cope rather than losing your mind. And I find that helps me a lot too.
I remember I watched a documentary a long time ago. It was David Suzuki. It was called The Botany of Desire. And he was talking about cannabis. And one of the ways that it works is it helps you forget shit. Okay. Because if we remembered all the shit that we go through every single day, all the times we've been slighted or cut off or told off or getting a dirty look or whatever the case may be, just all day long, if you remembered everything all the time, we lose our minds. Okay, so cannabis offers us a way to kind of forget the little trivial things, get some of that shit off our chest, and helps us relax and and just de-stress. And it's one of the ways that cannabis has made itself desirable throughout history, is by giving us that ability to kind of just let go of a lot of stuff. And that's why as a people, we've kind of brought it with us throughout history. From one continent, as we colonize another area, people bring pot with them because it does that. It makes life a little bit better.
Yeah, I agree. I totally agree on that. And on that note, we're going to take a quick 2-minute break and thank our sponsors. Thanks, we've got McNabb. Ron McNabb's been listening to us. So thanks, Ron, for all your comments too, as well. We're watching you and we're listening to you. We see them. Well, Al does. I don't, but Al's seeing them. So thanks again. So we'll be right back after a 2-minute break. We're listening to us live on paceradio.net.
You're listening to the Pace Radio Network here at paceradio.net.
Growing your own vegetables, flowers, or even medicinal plants can be a challenge without the right equipment and proper know-how. At BMA Hydroponics, not only are they your urban horticultural experts and suppliers, but their staff holds the customer's needs paramount to making a sale. Family-owned with decades of experience and knowledge, they offer free advice in person, by phone, or email. BMA Hydroponics wants to ensure you have the advice you need, which is why you'll find tips and tricks on different ways to grow, like wick, ebb and flow, drip, or aeroponic system, as well as other helpful links at bmahydroponics.com. If you can't find what you're looking for, just let them know, and they'll do everything they can to get what you're looking for. At BMA Hydroponics, each staff member also possesses a federal exemptee MMAR license, making their strong suit empathy, experience, and dedication to their customers. Because when you know how to grow, you'll have results that make you proud. BMA Hydroponics in Belleville, Ontario. Visit bmahydroponics.com.
CP operates a medicinal cannabis signing clinic. If you want to grow your own medicinal cannabis and are located anywhere in Canada, then I'd like to suggest that you give them a call. They can be reached at 1-613-967-9888. That's 1-613-967-9888. And grow on with CP.
Pace Radio is the people advocating cannabis education radio network.
A doctor's job is to relieve your pains. And when it comes to growing cannabis, the biggest pain is trimming. Let Dr. Buck Cannabis Trimming Solutions take the pain away. Whether you're a home grower or a commercial operation, we have the cure. From 4 plants to 400 plants, garden size doesn't matter. Dr. Buck Cannabis Trimming Solutions comes to you with years of experience and professional discreet service. It's simple. We trim your weed and we do a damn good job. Visit drbuckcts.com to book your trimming.
Hey growers and grow shops, do you want a 20% increase in yield from your cannabis grow? Then you need Calexa nutrients for bigger, better buds. Grow Micro Bloom is a 3-part premium-based nutrient trio specifically formulated to give you bigger, better buds. Win your own sample kit by heading to CalexaNutrients.com and contact us with your name, email, and catchphrase. We will pick one random name on the Pace Radio Facebook page. So remember, check out Calexa Essential Nutrients for bigger, better buds at CalexaNutrients.com.
Enjoy the buzz of legalization with Campbellford Lifestyle Shop. From lights to plant nutrients, books, consumption accessories, and more, we've got all your basics to grow or consume cannabis. Visit our info center or take a look at our piercing services and body jewelry, now available in-store through Campbellford Lifestyle Shop, 17 Bridge Street West, Campbellford.
The People's Alliance of Cannabis in Canada is an organization working to improve cannabis legalization in Canada. They have a mission and values that includes all Canadians, no matter where they come from. The values are including everyone, as no one should be excluded from participating, equality, diversity, advocacy, along with cannabis education and research, plus industry, safety, and professional standards. If this is an organization that has the same values as you, check them out at peoplesallianceofcannabisincanada.ca. Once again, People's Alliance of Cannabis in Canada.ca. Check them out.
At Legacy 420, we believe in being different.
Experience the difference of quality control.
Our labs provide tested formulations for all of our products.
Experience the difference in trust.
Our customers can trust that we are following up-to-date COVID precautions for their safety.
Experience the difference in accessibility.
We're open 7 days a week. Please visit our website, legacy420.com, or contact us for curbside pickup as well as nationwide mail order shipping.
Legacy 420 values overall wellness.
Come and experience the difference of Legacy 420.
You're listening to the Pace Radio Network here at paceradio.net.
All right, we're back with Chris Backer, and Al reminded me over the break, so we'll ask this question because we stopped you from answering, is how much problems did you have from municipality and policing and everything when you guys first got started?
Well, when I first started, I reached out to the police a bunch of times. I went to the police station, and it's weird. You go to the police station, there's not a cop in the place. There's just some cranky old commissionaires at the front desk.
Yeah.
I left brochures and business cards and my phone number probably 8 times, and nobody got back to me. And I called a lot of the politicians. And then when I first started, one of the politicians called the police on me, and they called me. So I went, this is fantastic. I mean, I was hoping to talk to you guys. So I found, because he tried to get me in trouble, I got to have the conversation I wanted to have with the police. Looked at the paperwork that I had put together and some of the information I had, and I gave him a sample of my kit so he could see what we were doing. He brought us in. He goes, I can see what you're trying to do is something good. I can see what you're trying to do, something that you're not trying to sell anything. You're not trying to just cause a stink and cause a problem. He goes, yeah, I think what you're doing is pretty good. And he kind of let me have it. And he was supposed to get me in and talk to his supervisors again, but that was right about when the pandemic started. So that got postponed, and it's never been started again. I thought it was about to, and it didn't. So yeah, we've been running free and clear with no problem or interference from the police. They drive by, we wave. I mean, he stopped a couple of times to come over and see how we were doing and stuff. But beyond that, no, it's been fantastic.
That's excellent. Because I don't know if the police are harassing Neil so much anymore either, but they were for a while. They raided the van, and I think a few months ago, and they had some issues with the VCP or Vancouver City Police. Yeah, so I'm glad to hear that, because that's the thing. These people rely on you now. Like they're there every fucking Monday waiting for you to be there, so they rely on you.
Exactly. And the van, I worried about Neil started off in the van, because I could see where that kind of would go. I mean, we thought about doing it out of the vehicle when we first started because it was cold when we started in the winter. And I said, I guarantee that if I'm doing it out of the vehicle, they're going to get me on a whole bunch of other crap. Okay. Then the police and you've got Department of Transportation stuff, and you got a whole road rules and stuff that you have to contend with. So it was easy to dismiss that. So as soon as he decided he was doing it from the van, I went, oh, Jesus, here we go.
Yeah.
And, yeah, they got him a couple times, but now they leave the van alone. Right? But hopefully he's getting somewheres, and they're going to be able to have a space again. But again, with a space,
my fear with that is that they're going to be put into the legal regime, and they're going to have to be serving people with legal cannabis, and that's my fear.
Well, exactly. How's he supposed to do that? Because he's giving it away for less than what he's going to be paying for it for. So
I know for a fact that I went into I had to go to one of the stores here in town, and I went in and I was talking to them too, and like I got a product. I was telling you last week, Al, or whatever, that I'd bought some stuff that was supposed to be affordable. Find out that it was brought home. It was outdoor, or it was greenhouse, and it was fucking moldy. And it was from Tweed, everyone. It was TWD. I'm not even gonna lie about it. It was Tweed. It was shit. It was crap. It was moldy. It was gross. Just putting that out there. So I went back to the store, and I told him. I took him back one of the joints that I had kept because I couldn't even smoke it. So I rolled it all up, and I took one back, and I said, this stuff's crap. It's moldy. He's not able to even open it without buying it himself to check it out.
Exactly.
That's how strict the regulations are on that stuff. So if you want to get a legal license, that's terrific. But you're not able, unless you're buying it off the shelf yourself, your inventory's watched every joint that comes in and out of that store. So how are they going to be able to do that? That's my concern is, how is a substitution program going to work with legal eradicated fucking crap that's moldy to help anyone?
Well, when I first started, that was one of their biggest concerns, is they wanted to make sure that the cannabis that I was passing out was not illicit cannabis, right? They wanted to make sure that I was only drawing from the illicit market. And, well, the best explanation I could give them with that is, well, everybody's allowed to grow now. So if somebody gives me weed, I assume that it's legitimate weed. It's illicit weed. It's not black market weed. And
right, it's coming from
well, and the kid door to door collecting money for this or that, and you give them $5, the kid doesn't look at you and go, so where'd you get the $5? So I don't ask people where they got the weed. If they want to donate weed to me, I say, you know what I say? I say, fucking thank you. And that's it. As long as it's clean, right. Okay, I assume that it's illicit weed because weed's legal in Canada now. So it's that simple.
I know. That's what I don't quite understand is that these new regulations that they want to bring out, the new consultation, and it says in there, no patient sharing. But you're legally allowed to share recreationally 30 grams a day, 30 grams.
Yeah.
You're allowed to ship it. You're allowed to give it. You're allowed to do, that kind of stuff. So how is it that this is not in patient to patient going into the medical regulation? That doesn't make any fucking sense to me. And the whole 2 gram a day, which would be 10 plants. So you're allowed to legally grow 4 without any security, but you add 6 more and all of a sudden you need fucking maximum security. Locks, blocks, dogs. What the fuck? Like, where is that making any logical sense? It just sounds like a bunch of bullshit that just wants to keep rearing its ugly head at knocking back people with medical need. I mean, I've never been one to figure, like, my question always was, is why do we need to have a license anyway? Why can't we just take care of ourselves? I've never wanted to be a medically licensed patient. I just never figured I needed a dog tag. And I've said that for 13 years. But here we are again with the 75-day consultation. And like you said, you hadn't really taken, a look at it. And I've talked to to Ross, and I guess the consultation's through Health Canada, the website. And he went ahead and did it. And he doesn't seem to be very concerned, but I am. And maybe I've read it wrong, but the way I'm reading it is they're fucking us again. And they're making it so that, because I was talking to another friend, and we want lounges and we want restaurants and we want to do infused foods and all these things. But if we have medical attached to the recreational market, we'll never be able to get there because they don't see it medical as needing a lounge. They would see it as a bar. So it would be okay to serve and distribute cannabis in a bar setting, which would be a lounge, but it wouldn't be okay if you were doing it as a medical need. And I'm not quite understanding the logic in that.
I never did. I mean, it's like you said, for booze. I mean, there's bars for people to go at because alcohol is legal. So there should be places where you consume your cannabis where cannabis is legal. I'm not allowed to drink on the street, so they gave me a place to do it. Okay, I'm not allowed to smoke almost anywhere. So they should give you a place to be able to do it. I mean, it's that fucking simple, especially with the people that aren't allowed to smoke at home in condos and apartments. And then you can't even go to your car. If you leave your keys in the apartment, you're not even supposed to be able to go to your car and sit in your car and burn one.
The car smells. If they smell something, they're going to rip your car apart. So if you sit and smoke in your car is going to stink. And they're going to assume that you've been smoking and driving too. So that's another reason why you don't want to smoke in your vehicle.
Well, it's not, no, screw that. It's because before that, they've created a snitch society. They want your neighbors to tell on you that you're smoking in your car. They want your neighbors to call the police. That's how it started. Right?
Yeah.
I'll deal with the fact that my car smells like weed when the cops show up, but I don't need people calling on me. Or if you find a cute little corner somewhere in a park, you want to burn a joint, but you're not allowed to smoke in a park, right? But you find a corner away from everybody, somebody's still going to call the cops on you. They asked when this all first started, they were asking people to call.
I know.
I'm pretty sure it stopped pretty quick because the calls were probably ridiculous. But
well, it's wasting cops' time. What are you going to do? Go tell somebody to quit smoking a cigarette too? Like I said, it's such a hypocrisy on so many levels. The way they even demonize cannabis, still with the stigma. Oh, we're going to legalize it. But God help you if you go smoke it somewhere, or don't do this and don't do that. And, you can't, it's flabbergasting. And then again, like I said, here we are again in another 75-day consult where they were asking the public to, weigh in on, whether we should be able to grow more plants. And yeah, we've got a few bad apples out there that have been busted growing more plants than they should have, but it's 1%. Like 1% of the 43,000 people that are growing cannabis for medical need are probably overgrowing. So you're going to penalize the other 99% because 1% fucked up. How many other like moonshiners and all, bootleggers for tobacco and all these other things? Yet they're going to, again, focus on the cannabis patient. And that to me is appalling because you're dealing with sick people, whether it's mental health, insomnia, Crohn's, colitis, it doesn't matter. And then they want to be able to decide whether your license is good or not between the doctor and the patient. So Health Canada has very few employees, as it is. We all know that. It takes 20 some odd weeks still, I heard, to get a fucking license again, which is goddamn ridiculous. It was supposed to be 10 maximum. But was it you that took 20 weeks? I don't know. I was talking to somebody that took 20 weeks to get their license renewed. But
5.5 months to get my renewal back.
So it was you 20 weeks, something like that. So again, like here we are back in a backlog because they're dealing with microcrafting, license producing, and medical cannabis patients with 10 people in the whole fucking department. And now these 10 people are going to have to decide whether you get a license or not.
Well, and that was a problem. I mean, that started happening, and a lot of it comes down to your doctor too, because Health Canada calls your doctor and goes, "You said that this person needs 10 grams a day. The average is 1 to 3, so we're kind of sticking it around 2 grams a day." If your doctor goes, "Okay," then that's your doctor, okay? But your doctor should go, "Look, I said 5 grams a day because I want the patient to have 5 grams a day. Are you a doctor?" And then the Health Canada would go, "No," and it would be over. But if your doctor just rolls over like a pansy, then
which most of them will do because they don't want to lose their licensing.
Right, but you got to stick to it because, like you said, these Health Canada people aren't doctors. They're just reading off a script. And if reading off a script is enough to intimidate your doctor into changing your mind, like, holy crap, what kind of doctor do you have, right?
Right. Again, too, they want to stop being able to have paid clinics. A lot of people in this country don't have a general practitioner. Not of any fault of their own. We have doctor shortages from coast to coast to coast. Here it's like in Cranbrook, you can't get a doctor. Our emergency room is where you go if you don't have a doctor. So how many of those emergency room doctors you think are going to fill out prescription for cannabis? Zero.
But I will say, the whole thing with the pay is, this is my belief anyway. If you're going to make it a pay clinic, it's to pay for the signature. It should be the same price for one plant or 1,000 plants, okay? You shouldn't be able to fucking charge more as a doctor based on the size of the prescription you're writing. That's ridiculous.
Right. Thank you. I don't think they should be charging anything at all, to be honest. Maybe a $30 requisition fee. Administration fee, $25.
I agree. But if it's a clinic and this is all they do and this is what they get paid for is just to spend time, listen to people and writing the prescription, have a charge. Call it $15, $20, $45. They used to charge you $45 or $50 to get a physical done, right, in the doctor's office.
Right. Absolutely.
Okay. So then do that, but not $300 if you want 300 plants, $500 if you want 500 plants. I mean, fuck that. That's insane. That's just scamming. I've heard people paying doctors thousands of dollars for prescriptions.
I remember 10 years ago, people were paying like $2,500 to $5,000. I mean, even myself, like I had to fly, out to Ontario. I mean, it wasn't the cost of the $100 that I had to pay the doctor for the signature. I didn't have any problem paying the doctor the $100. That was not the problem. It was the thousands of dollars it cost me to get there. So again, you know what I mean? Put in a predicament where your doctor, wherever won't sign, you have to physically go, because this is before they did anything on Skype even, right? Like at least Skype even existed back then. And you had to go.
Even cameraman, when he was traveling all over Canada, I think he was charging $300 or $350. But he had nurses with him, and he was staying in hotels, and he was all over the place. That was a legitimate charge. I had no problem with $300 or $350 for that.
No, and that's who I went straight to Coe Hill. So he didn't, like I said, I went to his office, and he only charged me $100. Right. And he actually physically touched me. It wasn't like I just sat there and he didn't listen to my heart. He did a physical, listen to my heart, took my blood pressure, did all these things, sat and talked to me for a good 40 minutes. And I paid him $100 for. Heard me?
I said, so the doctor did doctor stuff?
Yeah, the doctor did doctor stuff. So he actually he did a physical, check me over. It wasn't just me sitting there going, "Hey, I want some pot. Can you sign this?" But you do it on an LP. I've done that too, where, namaste.com or whatever, they had the app, and all I had to do was sit on this thing, and the doctor says, okay, what's your problem? And I says, well, I suffer from colitis, and I've got, this is before my rheumatoid arthritis diagnosis even. And they don't touch you. They don't take your blood pressure. They don't touch, because you're through a screen. Yeah. So at least when I went to Dr. Kammerman's office, he actually listened to my heart. He put I had my blood pressure taken. He sat and asked me about all my afflictions. I had to take my medical records with me. He sat and read through those, asked me what I had used before, whether it was helpful or not. And I explained to him that it hadn't. And we really had a conversation. Like I said, I was in his office for a good 40 minutes. Any other doctor would have charged probably, I don't know what the going rate is, but I didn't have any problem handing them the money to take care of that. Because at the end of the day, I got looked at by a doctor.
No, and that's why you were going. I mean, this is about medical. This is about care. So the Skype ones, I mean, I see the need for them, especially these days. You can't even get in to see a family doctor anyway. I mean, it's all telemedicine nowadays. So
right,
I get that. But any other prescription that your doctor wants to give you, he's still going to get you to come into the office for.
Yeah. Oh, they'll do it over the phone now. Since COVID, I haven't seen my doctor in probably a year. I've talked to her. Yeah, it's all refill for my prescriptions. But like I said, I haven't seen my doctor in a year.
Yeah, but if you wanted a prescription for something new that you haven't had before because of a new problem, I'm pretty sure he's going to want to see you.
I don't know if she would or not, to be honest with you.
Okay.
It's hard to say because, like I said, because of COVID, she's not even working from her office. She's working from her house 90% of the time. I think if it's something physical where she has to actually go in and do something, she does. But I don't think, if I sent me for blood and stuff and then gave me a prescription for antibiotics and I didn't have to go in and see her. So I don't know. Like I said, they're doing. Yeah, on the phone. It depends on the doctor too, I guess. I've had my doctor now for 4 years. She knows me pretty well. So she knows all about everything there is to know about me. So it's not, it's not like it's a different new doctor that I don't know. So that's probably maybe why too. But I'm thankful to have her because, like I said, that's the problem. They want to put this restriction that only your general practitioner can sign for your cannabis medical. Then that leaves a lot of people out for the fact they don't have a doctor, period, or their doctor's not on board. And that's where a lot of us were to begin with too. I had a doctor in Tabor. He was, my doctor. I had a baby, blah, blah. He wouldn't sign my papers for me. There's no way.
Seniors have got it the worst. Seniors have older doctors, and older doctors they've got them scared. I mean, seniors are scared to say something for the fear of losing your doctor. I'm not even going to bring it up, right? So
yeah, that's true, because that's the thing. Doctors hear the word cannabis and they tell you, I don't want to hear it. Don't want to talk about it. I'm not doing that. Even my doctor, she signed us. So it took me 13 months to get her, 9 months to get her to sign. But was when renewal time came up. Nope. Why would I sign that when you can get 30 grams from a store? What? Are you kidding me? And then she was told that because legalization came along, that they didn't need to sign medical prescriptions anymore for cannabis. The clinic told them that. So my doctor's like, why do you need me to sign that when you can just go to the store? And you're allowed to. And she knew that. That was the funniest thing about it. She knew. So they must have had some sort of discussion at one of their, clinic meetings or something. The doctors must have had something come across from their college of physicians, something they were told about it.
Oh yeah, absolutely. But there's a big difference. I mean, you can't just pawn people off onto the recreational market and say that that's good enough.
No, because the recreational market isn't good enough. It's just not. They're saying that we've got good quality cannabis weed, is what the Health Canada paperwork says. We have access to good quality Canadian weed. Okay.
Well, at least if you're medical and even if you're with an LP, a lot of them have lower income programs and cheaper options for people that are financially not doing as well. So if you can prove it, I know that they've done it for a lot of people. Yeah. But the liquor store doesn't. I mean, it's just the price is. So there's advantages to being somebody that's medical, even if you're sticking with the LP market as opposed to just growing your own.
Yeah,
and then there's the growing your own, which costs you way less. So
yeah,
if
absolutely.
I don't understand that, it's beyond it, right?
Well, never mind the fact that you've got control of what you're smoking and the curing, and you know what's going into it. It's kind of like growing, your own garden, or having your own livestock. You know what you're feeding it, and I think that's overall the main reason why patients should grow their own is because you know exactly what's going into it.
For some, I mean, I know people that still grow their vegetables with Miracle Grow, and they grow their weed with Miracle Grow. So
yeah, I know. Oh, good grief! Haven't we educated people enough that they don't use Miracle Grow anymore? Actually, Miracle Grow has come out with a cannabis nutrient, have they not?
Has come out as what?
I think Miracle Grow has come out with a nutrient specifically for cannabis, actually.
Well, they're owned by Monsanto, and so is General Hydroponics, so probably.
Yeah. Isn't that funny how things just kind of all went commercialized as soon as it hit the rec market? It's like, what? But yeah, you can't still grow, I can't get over the hypocrisy. I think that's what gets me the most is the hypocrisy of it all. Like,
well, the thing with the Miracle Grow is, I mean, you got to give it to them. It grows great plants, okay, and it grows great looking weed. Okay, so it's that simple. It grows great vegetables, grows great flowers, grows great looking weed, and that's as simple as it is. It's when you're having problems. When I first started growing, if I had problems with my plants and they were starting to go weird, I hit with Miracle Grow because it fixed everything.
Wow.
It had all the answers in it. I don't know what's in there, but the fucking plants love it. So
wow.
It was an easy fix when things were going wrong.
But does it flush?
No, of course. But no doubt you're done growing it. Okay? You had a plant that was yellow and now it's green again. That stuff's magic.
Yeah.
So I mean, and it's experience and time and everything else that goes with it. But yeah, for a lot of half the soils that you get at Walmart or Canadian Tire, Miracle Grow right in them to start.
Yeah, true. That's true. That's true. There's not a lot of the stuff you can get that doesn't have some sort of nutrient in it anymore. That's for sure. Why it's hard to, add nutrients to the soil already. Why, I'm staying away from soil this next time I try and grow again. I'm going to do lava rock and rock wool, I think, and stay away from dirt.
I did hydro once. It didn't treat me very well.
I've done it before, and I didn't have such an issue. I've had bugs this last round, and I've actually killed everything. I've got nothing right now. It's heartbreaking, and because I'm only growing 4 because I don't have the power. I've got a 60-amp power here. So anyway, but yeah, I'm gonna try because of the bugs, and I'm in a dirt basement, and I just could not get rid of the bugs. So I'm just no more dirt for this girl for a bit. I'm gonna try something different. But we're just about running out of time here, I guess, by looking at my clock. We're getting down to the last few minutes. So again, we should shout out to the volunteers for the Cannabis Substitution Program. And why don't you let everybody know how they can get a hold of you, Chris?
Oh, well, yeah, again, thanks to all my volunteers and all the sponsors and supporters of the East Coast Cannabis Substitution Program and any of the cannabis substitution programs that are running across the country. Because I know there's one in Sudbury as well. I think there's another one in London. So there's a few of them kicking around now, and I think it's fantastic.
There's one in Saskatoon, too.
On Facebook, I'm with Chris Backer on LinkedIn and on Twitter, but the East Coast CSP. I was on Instagram, and I can be getting a hold of via email as well. So I'm pretty accessible, and can't find me there. You can find me Monday mornings on Maitland Street in Halifax.
And if any of you kind folks want to, donate to Chris in the substitution program or donate to Neil in the substitution program or set up your own substitution program in your area, reach out to any one of these two because I'm sure they'd be more than happy to give you tips on how to start doing it or, set you up with, some way of, just basic knowledge because the education is key to getting these programs set up all across the country. So again, Chris, I'm really glad you guys are doing this. It's amazing. And for all the volunteers that help donate and send you guys stuff. And it's just amazing. Like I said, it's just so helpful. And we need to get more and more of these programs out across the country. So for, again, anybody who is doing them, thank you. from from all of us, because we need more people like you and Neil and everybody out there that's doing this for people.
If somebody else wants to do it, just so you know, I know Canadian Lumber gives papers to anybody that's running a CSP. So the papers part of your problem is already taken care of. So you don't have to worry about that for the joints. Canadian Lumber will handle that.
Oh, that's terrific. Thanks to Canadian Lumber. That's an awesome
program. They'll help sponsor. So yeah.
Oh, that's great. That's great. And anybody wants to sponsor too, I'm sure we've got some people out there that are listening. Like I said, it doesn't have to be a lot. It could be just, coffee money.
Absolutely. Everything helps.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, again, Chris, thanks so much for being on my program. Next week, I'm trying to get Julie Childs on. So we'll see what we can do with getting her on. And you all have a great week. Enjoy the sun. Thanks for coming on again, Chris.
Thanks for having me.
We are people advocating cannabis education here at paceradio.net.
The opinions of the individuals during this broadcast are their own and may not be the opinions of their group or other organizations they may be involved with.
At Legacy 420, we believe in being different.
Experience the difference of quality control.
Our labs provide tested formulations for all of our products.
Experience the difference in trust.
Our customers can trust that we are following up-to-date COVID precautions for their safety.
Experience the difference in accessibility.
We're open 7 days a week. Please visit our website, legacy420.com, or contact us for curbside pickup as well as nationwide mail order shipping.
Legacy 420 values overall wellness.
Come and experience the difference of Legacy 420.
BMA Hydroponics has everything you need to succeed. Visit our hydroponics superstore at 404 Maitland Drive in Belleville, and we'll show you how to grow your own quality cannabis for pennies per gram. We're open Mondays, Tuesdays, Wednesdays, and Saturdays from 10 a.m. to 5 p.m. and Thursdays and Fridays from 10 a.m. to 7 p.m. Call 613-967-9888. BMA Hydroponics. It's worth the drive.
The only way to go. Enjoy the buzz of legalization with Campbellford Lifestyle Shop. From lights to plant nutrients, books, consumption accessories, and more, we've got all your basics to grow or consume cannabis. Visit our info center or take a look at our piercing services and body jewelry, now available in-store through Campbellford Lifestyle Shop, 17 Bridge Street West, Campbellford.
A doctor's job is to relieve your pains. And when it comes to growing cannabis, the biggest pain is trimming. Let Dr. Buck Cannabis Trimming Solutions take the pain away. Whether you're a home grower or a commercial operation, we have the cure. From 4 plants to 400 plants, garden size doesn't matter. Dr. Buck Cannabis Trimming Solutions comes to you with years of experience and professional discreet service. It's simple. We trim your weed and we do a damn good job. Visit drbuckcts.com to book your trimming.
Hey growers and grow shops, do you want a 20% increase in yield from your cannabis grow? Then you need Collection nutrients for bigger, better buds. Grow Micro Bloom is a 3-part premium-based nutrient trio specifically formulated to give you bigger, better buds. Win your own sample kit by heading to CollectionNutrients.com and contact us with your name, email, and catchphrase. We will pick one random name on the Pace Radio Facebook page. So remember, check out Calexa Essential Nutrients for bigger, better buds at CollectionNutrients.com.
You're listening to the Pace Radio Network here at paceradio.net.